Have you ever felt like everyone is ahead of you? Like your friends, your neighbors, or even strangers on social media are earning more, traveling more, or living happier lives while you feel stuck? Science suggests that constant comparison damages your dopamine system and your ability to focus. But centuries ago, the Japanese discovered something that the modern world still struggles to understand. It's called Oubaitori. And let's be honest, you are running in a race that doesn't exist. Imagine entering a stadium and starting to run. On one side, there's an Olympic athlete. On the other, a 5-year-old child. Would it make sense to compare yourself to either of them? Of course not. Yet that's exactly what you do every time you open social media. Oubaitori is based on 4 flowers: cherry blossom, plum, peach, and apricot. Each blooms in its own time. The cherry blossom doesn't try to become the plum. The peach doesn't feel inferior because the apricot bloomed earlier. They simply bloom. It may seem easy, but in today's world it's incredibly difficult because our minds are naturally programmed to compare ourselves and worry about our status.
Have you ever wondered why you feel uncomfortable when someone your age has a better job or more success? It's not just envy, it's a biological survival response. In ancient times, being last could mean exclusion or even death. But today, that signal is outdated. Your brain reacts to harmless situations as if they were threats. This leads to the first principle of Oubaitori: understand your own season. How often have you tried to force results too early? You want success now, you want peace now, you want everything immediately. But that's like expecting a tree to bloom in winter. All you do is damage your roots. There's also a trap you fall into constantly: upward comparison. Your mind always looks at people who have more money, more recognition, more progress. It never ends. If you measure your worth this way, you will always feel behind. Instead, shift your focus. There's a Japanese idea, sometimes described as a horizon gaze, looking forward instead of sideways. When you focus on your own path, your mental state changes completely.
So, how do you stop feeling like a failure when others succeed? The answer lies in Kaizen, continuous improvement, not compared to others, but compared to yourself. Becoming just 1% better each day is the only metric that truly matters. Here's the truth no one tells you. You compare your behind the scenes to other people's highlight reels. You know your fears, your doubts, your struggles, but you only see the polished surface of others. That comparison is unfair. And the more you focus on others, the less energy you have for your own growth. It's an attention drain. Every second spent analyzing someone else's life is a second taken from yours. So let's get practical. Here's a simple framework you can apply. First, identify your season. Are you in winter? Winter is for learning, healing, and preparing. Don't expect visible results. If you're starting over or recovering, you're in winter. Accept it. Second, remove toxic comparisons. If something consistently makes you feel inadequate, it's not inspiration, it's harm. Distance yourself from it. Third, track your own progress. This isn't empty motivation, it's neuroscience. If you don't record your wins, your brain ignores them. Even small progress matters. Fourth, demand excellence from yourself, but on your own terms. Oubaitori doesn't mean settling. It means striving for your best without comparing timelines. Think about a bonsai tree. It's small, but perfectly formed. It doesn't try to be a giant oak. It focuses on becoming the best version of itself. But there's a danger: observer's paralysis. This happens when you use "everyone has their own pace" as an excuse to do nothing. Growth still requires effort. A tree may bloom later, but it works underground long before that. So ask yourself honestly, am I in the wrong season, or am I not doing the work? This philosophy requires discipline. It's not passive, it's patient action. Now, here's the key reason most people fail. They try to suppress comparison. They tell themselves, "I won't compare." But that only makes it stronger. Like trying not to think of something, you end up thinking about it more. The solution is not suppression, it's replacement. Instead of using comparison to judge yourself, use it to expand your sense of possibility. When you see someone succeed, don't think they have something I don't. Think, this is possible for a human being, so I can find my own version of it. Shift from envy to evidence. There's also another Japanese idea that complements this: wabi-sabi, the beauty of imperfection. Your path doesn't need to be perfect. Your delays, your mistakes, your struggles, they add depth to your story. A tree that survives storms becomes stronger and more beautiful than one that never faced hardship. Now, think of someone who makes you feel behind. Picture them clearly. Understand this: they have struggles you don't see. They have doubts and difficult moments just like you. When you compare yourself to them, you reduce both lives into something shallow and incomplete.
Oubaitori is a quiet rebellion. In a world that pushes you to compete constantly, choosing your own pace is a form of freedom. And here's the truth: people fail because they seek external validation for an internal journey. They want others to approve their timing, but the world will always push you to move faster. So you must become your own reference point. And finally, the most important idea: Oubaitori is not about waiting, it's about presence. It's about being so focused on your own growth, so engaged in your own process, that you don't have time to compare. When your attention is fully invested in your path, comparison fades naturally. The moment you stop checking if others have already bloomed is the moment your own growth accelerates. You are not late. You are not early. You are exactly where you need to be. The real question is, will you let your life wither while watching others, or will you start cultivating your own? If this message resonates with you, take it as a sign. Stop judging your timeline. Start working with it. Oubaitori is not a destination, it's a daily practice. You will still feel the urge to compare. That's normal, but now you have a different way to respond. Remember the 4 flowers. Remember your season. A forest where all trees bloom at the same time would not survive. Diversity in timing is what creates balance and beauty. Your delay is not a flaw, it is part of your uniqueness. Bloom when you are ready, not sooner, not later. Focus on your next step, because while others compete in a race with no finish line, you will be building something far more meaningful, your own path, and that's something no one can take away from you.